Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was beginning to think my light was broken. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I rise obviously in opposition of this amendment. And I just want to share my feelings why and some words of caution for everyone. First of all, I just want to touch on some points that Representative Hootchie made, Representative Kennedy made, that I don't want people to think, the press or everyone out there, that we suspend the rules and it becomes the wild, wild west, because that's not the case. No one should. What is temporarily suspended with the consent of the minority leader, and only with the consent of the minority leader and the majority leader, are some posting requirements. And by and large, over like 99%, or at least maybe 100% since I've been in the building, these are bills that we have talked about, we have heard in committee, we have sub-8 in committee. These are bills that, quite frankly, sometimes are not a priority of the House, but they're a priority of the other side. And that's where I want to go. Representative Kennedy touched on this. We are a bicameral legislature. And I want to caution everybody, be careful what you ask for, because I'm not so sure that if we don't suspend the rules that we won't be here until July or August. And as much as I like all of you, I also like July and August to be in Warwick by the water. I know the Speaker would like to be here in July and August, but I'm not sure if everybody else would be. And at the end of session, all of you know me, or at least the returning members do. How many of you have come up to me and said, when are we getting out? When are we adjourning? My son's graduating. I want to go to graduation. I have a wedding to go to. I have a vacation to go to. The reason the rules get suspended is to move legislation that's a priority of the Senate that we need to work with. There has to be collaboration. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as much as we think we may be the superior chamber, it's a bicameral chamber. I know you, Representative Newberry thinks we are, and I tend to agree with you. But the reality is the Senate is not going to hang around and wait for us. And we will be here in July and August all alone. I don't know about you, but bills are very important to me. I work hard just like everyone else. I want my bills to pass, but it is a negotiation with the executive branch. It is a negotiation with the other chamber. We need to work together. Since I've been in the chamber, I've worked with 3 minority leaders. Representative Newberry, if he thought I was doing something improper, he would have never voted to suspend the rules or agreed to it. Representative Morgan, my good friend, we have strong philosophical difference. Personally, I like Pat very much. Do you think she would have agreed to suspend the rules with me and the Speaker if she didn't think it was the right thing to do? Representative Flippy, Leader Flippy, another dear friend, but we have philosophical differences. There's going to be a time where you're going to be asked that, Blake, and if you don't want to suspend the rules, you don't have to. You have the power, Leader Flippy, to not suspend the rules. We will be here until late July, mid-August, maybe all of August. I don't know if the Senate will be here, and I don't know what good will be here all alone, but we'll be here. And as much as I'd like to be back in Warwick by the water, I will be here with you. So I just want people to caution. This is an issue that has never come up in the 6 years I've been here about it. Suspending certain rules so we can bring bills that we've heard, that have had hearings, to the floor for a vote. These bills don't just slide in the middle of the night. Everybody votes on them. Nobody can, no debate is stifled or prevented. Every bill that comes before this, there's an up or down vote, ladies and gentlemen. And your constituents, they don't really want to know if this bill came out within 1 day or 2 days. No, they want to know how you voted on the bill. They look up at that board when we're on TV, and they want to know, how did Representative McNamara vote? How did Representative Corvesi vote? How did Representative Shikachi vote? How did my representative vote on this? That's what they care about. Not whether it was posted for 24 hours or 48 hours. I understand people get frustrated. They have bills that are very important to them. But at the end of the day, it's the majority of all of us collectively, the Democrats, the Republicans, the moderates, the conservatives, the progressives. It's your vote that what matters. Not how we get to the vote, but how you vote, how you debate, how you support a piece of legislation, or how you work against it. That's how you get judged. And that's what we're here for, to vote on legislation. And keep in mind, to my colleagues, the freshmen here, You can have the best idea in the world. We can all support your bills 100%, but when I go over to the Senate, it's a whole different story. There's a negotiation and a process that has to happen. And if you think by delaying not only our bills, this amendment would delay all bills, including the Senate bills. Do you think the Senate was going to be happy about that? Do you think the Senate is going to wait 2 months while we want to go through a prolonged process? And as Representative Kennedy said, a lot of the bills at the end are city and town bills. And why are they late? Because lots of times we're waiting for town council, city council resolutions in support of them. The same thing with bond bills. We don't pass city and town bills in this chamber unless the local cities and towns approve it. And the wheels of government, all government, not just the Statehouse, move slowly. So that's an important fact to consider. Your city and town may need a bill right away. Your city and town may need a bill passed to put their municipal budget together. And a lot of bills, I do a lot of, I know Representative Flippy and myself, we go do a lot of the TV circuit, the radio circuit, and this question gets asked. The reality is, most of the bills, not all bills, but most of the bills have a financial component. And we can't consider those votes until we pass a budget. And we can't pass a budget until we get revenue numbers in May. And those revenue numbers have to be agreed to by the Senate and the governor and the House fiscal staff. And that's how we base our budget. And when the budget passes, that's when the overwhelming majority of the fiscal bills will get heard. That's how they get heard in committee, and that's how they pass. There's no sinister motive going on here. There's no intent to hide. This process is a fair process. And honestly, especially again the returning members, not one of my colleagues has ever come to me and said, please don't suspend the rules. Please don't, because this is the reason. I'm open. My door is open. I'll listen. I'll bring your concerns. I'll come to the speaker with you and I'll say, we should not suspend the rules for this valid reason. Or is this, what is the purpose of this? We will hear bills. We hear them in committee. Everybody has an opportunity to introduce anything, and nobody's floor debate is ever cut off or delayed. No one is ruled out of order unless they go germane or off topic. So if you think a bill is bad and it comes to the floor, you have a microphone, you have TV cameras, you have the press. You can make your argument if you think, that hasn't happened in 6 years. I haven't seen someone said, this is a bad bill and only got put in because the rules were suspended. It's the process of a bicameral legislature. I wish things could be sometimes different, but it is what it is. You get elected here, and that's the process. Now we can change the process, and I think to Chairman Corvasi's credit, the process has been changed. And I'm going to offer another amendment later on in the session to change a little bit more, and I want people to understand that. We'll get to that. But the point is, this is an evolving process. There were good, thought-out changes to the rules. I am proud to say I will support them. For those reasons, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to defeat this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk, unlock the machine. On the amendment, all in favor, please vote green. Those opposed, red. Clerk, lock the machine. 22 in favor, 50 opposed. The amendment fails.